With his closest friends and family kidnapped by Brainiac, it'll be up to the Man of Steel to break bread with the main man. What'll happen next? Well, it's hopping to the pages of Superman issue number 13, a continuation of the House of Brainiac event, and find out what happens next together, shall we? Alrighty then, so as the comic opens, we're at Warrior's Bar. Yes, that Warrior, as in an old, forgotten moniker used by Guy Gardner. Lobo is there getting drunk and causing a scene ever since Dr. Farm and Mr. Graff stranded him on Earth and stole his motorcycle. Not that he could easily leave though, because of events happening over in the Green Lantern book right now. It seems the United Planets have put Earth under some sort of quarantine. Superman comes to Lobo at the bar, feeling that the alien bounty hunter might very well be his only lead in tracking down Brainiac wherever he ran off to, and for a change, Superman is not asking nicely. In fact, the second Lobo steps to him, Superman ends up absolutely nuking his head with heat vision like it was going out of style or something. Believe it or not, this doesn't upset Lobo at all. In fact, if anything, it actually endears him to Superman more than ever before, saying he's glad to see he's finally stopped playing around and has gotten serious. Now, it's after that we transition on over to Brainiac. It seems that he's brought his ship into some deep, dark, uncharted part of space where the Earth's yellow sun is nowhere around to shine on his foes. He's also subjecting the likes of Parasite, Livewire, and Metallo to horrifying experiments trying to get to the bottom of what makes them tick and what gives them their amazing powers. Once again, it's Supergirl who brings up the fact that Brainiac isn't acting like himself at the moment, that none of this lines up with his normal modus operandi. And after some goading, Brainiac does eventually end up opening up, saying that he is one of the most intelligent beings in the entire multiverse, that he's mastered knowledge that others couldn't dream of. In fact, he might very well know everything, and what does a man do once he knows everything? Well, he must push himself to create, even though the very act of creation does not seem to sit well with Brainiac, who goes into massive malfunctioning spasms when even just the idea of creation is breached. This would also probably go a long way to explain why Brainiac has incorporated other multiversal versions of himself into his scheme, as well as using the rogue Zarnians to bat cleanup. And hey, speaking of rogue Zarnians, back on Earth we actually learn a little bit more about these guys via Lobo, who for the longest time thought he was the last of the Zarnian people. Turns out their leader, General Chakal, is actually well known to the main man. In fact, he was his hero growing up. This dude and his crew, the Bad Blood, were such unbelievable universal ass kickers they actually took over an entire Zarnian city to themselves before eventually just, well, disappearing into the ether, and now we all know why. Now, finding Brainiac is going to be hard, but the first problem our heroes are going to have to overcome is how they're going to actually escape Earth. Thankfully for Clark, he has the major eggheads of Supercorp hard at work, building him and Lobo the perfect kind of stealth crafts that will allow them to run the United Planets blockade. And yes, before you even have to ask, these crafts are indeed space motorcycles. Because why would they be anything else? It's on the way Lobo and Superman actually have a chance to talk and reminisce about old events. Lobo basically says he knows Superman is serious because he's never actually seen him that mad before, even during all the other times they fought during their illustrious career. Furthermore, Lobo actually says he has a bit more respect for Superman, because they're actually more alike now than they've ever been. Before, when they first met, they were the last of their races going at it, but now they have extended families, children even. Hell, Lobo damn near comes close to saying something nice too when him and Superman both end up coming under attack by Chakal and the rest of the Zarnians. Well, geez, that's convenient. Looks like Lobo and Superman won't need to find Brainiac and his forces because they've already found them. And hey, speaking of Brainiac Prime, once he comes back online after having his little freak out, we once again see a female figure inside a tube. We had actually glimpsed this a couple volumes back, the implication being that maybe Brainiac is trying to build himself a wife. There's also Lex, who's allowed to roam freely as he has, you guessed it, in classic Lex Luthor fashion, promised to throw in and help Brainiac deal with Superman if only his daughter Lena will be safe. Well, hey, you can't call it anything less than character development. Lex has moved on from doing bad things for bad reasons to doing bad things for good reasons. It's Kara and Connor who actually make plans to escape their cells first. After all, you'll remember Superboy had learned about the greater lengths that his tactile telekinesis could be pushed during during his last battle with the Chained, and as far as Supergirl goes, well, she's had a long and storied history with multiple different versions of Brainiac, and because of that, she actually figures a way to hack her way out of the cell. Too bad though for them though, as the comic comes to a close, they manage to escape, but unfortunately so far from Earth's yellow sun, they don't have their powers. And so that was Superman issue number 13, everybody, and once again I'm happy to report that House of Brainiac is moving along at a good pace. It is an event story, it's gonna have tie-ins, and yet probably the best thing I can say about it is that it just feels like an organic continuation of everything Joshua Williamson was doing in his own book. Also, while I said it before in the last video, I think it bears repeating. If I had to single out a theme of this story so far, it would be family. Lobo and Superman talk about their growing families. Lex is happily willing to completely sacrifice the brand new healthy relationship he's built with Superman if only it means he can save his daughter. There's also a lot of mystery going on too about a vision that Lex had seen when he briefly connected to Brainiac, something that scared him so badly he actually kickstarted the whole Supercorp thing to begin with, in hopes of being able to push Superman into a direction wherein he would be strong enough and ready enough to stop whatever Brainiac has planned. Which again, could be wrong, but if I had to guess, he's going to try and create his own bride of Brainiac, or maybe even a daughter of Brainiac too. Because again, everyone and their mother in this series right now seems to be in a family way, and it would just fit thematically. Overall, I would give this one another very positive 8 out of 10. Good stuff. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow, and help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye bye.